I'm one of the last of the optimists about the history and the future of the motion picture industry in Hollywood. But I really believe that all of my colleagues who love film and know nothing else, if the end of the world came, we probably couldn't dig a hole to climb into. We wouldn't know how to do that either. We know movie making. And so I have to be very, very optimistic that movies are only going to expand, hopefully not at the expense of other films that might contract for economic reasons. Because we all know that money is short today. This is 1982, and the dollar doesn't stretch as much as it used to. In 1974, when I made Jaws, and I went 100 days over schedule, went from 55 to 155 shooting days, the budget went to 8, which is twice as much. Today, because of the dollar, the franc, the mark, the yen, whatever, and because we're experiencing runaway inflation within the film business, the global film business, Jaws today would probably cost about $27 million if you shot 155 shooting days with a full crew away from home in local motels, having to feed them and house them and take care of all their needs. I think the best we can do is just live with what we've got. Make the best movies we know how. If we have to compromise to make a film that looks like $15 million on a canvas of perhaps only $3 or $4 million, we're just going to have to do it. I mean, we are the prisoner of our own times, and our generation is probably the only generation that's going to be able to break through this kind of, I don't know what you would call it. It would kind of like be a, it seems that Hollywood, it's not that I'm guilty of this, I've just been fortunate to have made some very successful films, but it seems like everybody in studio positions with the power to say yes and the power to say no wants a home run with everybody on base. They want a grand slam during the last game of the World Series with the games tied 4-4. Everybody wants to be a hero, and they want to ride into Hollywood the 11th hour and pull a piece of shit out of the closet and turn it into some sort of a silk purse, and you have a last minute hit, and everybody wants that hit to be a $100 million hit. There seems to be an attitude among the people who run the studios, not all of them, but a lot of the people who run the studios seem to have an attitude that if a film can't at least reach third base, let alone home, then we don't really know if we want to make this picture. And that's the danger. The danger is not from filmmakers, the danger is not from the producers or the writers, it's from the people who are in control of the money, who essentially say, I want my money back, and I want those returns multiplied by the powers of 10.
There's a this school, and there's a that school, and there's a this school, and ultimately it's about storytelling, it's about narrative drive, and that will win through.
True, but don't you think so? I mean, I like the action genre.
Mm-hmm.
That little club is fucking up lately,
mm-hmm.
and I love those movies, and I
Sure.
want them to succeed, and I want to see good action adventure films. You
mm-hmm.
know, I wanted Godzilla to be wonderful. I mean, I love monster movies, and I wanted that. Like, it seems that department is really not.
Mm-hmm.
is not sort of.
Yeah, but that department at the moment is a committee filmmaking process.
Which is but that's unfortunate.
That's
to me.
like the sacrifice that cinema has made. Okay, guys. You smart boys and the odd girl, you can have that genre.
I know.
Because that's money and everything, and then the
But it's really unfortunate. I mean, that's unfortunate. I don't want to fluff that off as that's just the way that is. I think it's unfortunate because there is such a thing to be made as an intelligent Godzilla movie, an intelligent sort of like action adventure film. They're out there to be made, and it's unfortunate that sort of genre is getting killed by committee. I mean, it's almost like right around the corner the romantic comedy will be next. Well, it's happening right now, actually.
They turned that corner.
Yeah, they're getting them right now, and next will be
I could name a few. Yeah.
Oh, I could name a few this summer.
I've always been attracted to just what you're saying. The less obvious movie motivation, more of you have to supply. What's going on here? That's always been scarier, more interesting to me. But movies nowadays, especially screenplays that you write, you have to spell out everything for the audience, especially in character development. I always love characters that don't have any backstory. None.
fatal mistakes that almost every science fiction film makes is that they spend so much time on the settings, creating the environment, that they spend film time on it. And you don't have to spend too much film time to create an environment. What they're doing is showing off the amount of work that they generated. And it slows the pace of the film down. And the story is not the settings, the story is the story, it's the plot.
What the hell's that island? It's usually followed by, seriously, what the hell's that island? Why so many mysteries? What is it about mystery that I seem to be drawn to? The premise behind the Mystery Magic Box is the following. $15 buys you $50 worth of magic, which is a savings. Now, I bought this decades ago, and I'm not kidding. If you look at this, you'll see it's never been opened. But I've had this forever. Now, I was looking at this, it was in my office, and as it always is, on the shelf, and I was thinking, why have I not opened this? And why have I kept it? Because I'm not a pack rat, I don't keep everything, but for some reason I haven't opened this box. And I felt like there was a key to this somehow, in talking about something at TED that I haven't discussed before and bored people elsewhere. So I thought, maybe there's something with this. I started thinking about it, and there was this giant question mark. I love the design, for what it's worth, of this thing. And I started thinking, why haven't I opened it? And I realized that I haven't opened it because it represents something important to me. The thing is that it represents infinite possibility. It represents hope. It represents potential. And what I love about this box, and what I realized I sort of do in whatever it is that I do, is I find myself drawn to infinite possibility and that sense of potential. And I realize that mystery is the catalyst for imagination. Now, it's not the most groundbreaking idea, but when I started to think that maybe there are times when mystery is more important than knowledge, I started getting interested in this. And so I started thinking about Lost and the stuff that we do, and I realized, oh my God, like mystery boxes are everywhere in what I do. So there's that. In terms of the content of it, you look at stories, you think, well, what are stories but mystery boxes? There's a fundamental question. In TV, the first act is called the teaser. It's literally the teaser. It's the big question. So you're drawn into it. And then, of course, there's another question, and it goes on and on and on. I mean, look at like Star Wars. You got the droids. They meet the mysterious woman. Who's that? We don't know. Mystery box, Then you meet Luke Skywalker. He gets the droid. You see the holographic image. You learn, oh, it's a message. She wants to, find Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's her only hope. But who the hell is Obi-Wan Kenobi? Mystery box. So then you go and he meets Ben Kenobi. Ben Kenobi's uncle is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Holy shit, So it keeps it. Have you guys not seen that? It's huge. Anyway, so in the withholding of information, doing that intentionally is much more engaging. Whether it's like the shark in Jaws, if Spielberg's mechanical shark Bruce had worked, it would not have been remotely as scary. You would have seen it too much. In Alien, they never really show the alien. Terrifying. Even in a movie like like a romantic comedy, The Graduate, they're having that date, remember, and they're in the car and it's loud, and so they put the top up and they're in there. You don't hear anything they're saying. You can't hear a word, but it's the most romantic date ever, and you love it because you don't hear it. So to me, there's that. And then finally, there's this idea, and stretching the sort of paradigm a little bit, but the idea of the mystery box, meaning what you think you're getting than what you're really getting.